Imagine the wheel rolling into human history, not in the Bronze Age, but in the Stone Age. In Part 1, we explored the first 5,000 years of this alternate timeline, where prehistoric societies gained a powerful head start. But now, let's push the simulation forward. What would happen over the next 5 millennia? What kind of world would humanity be living in today? By year 5000, in this altered timeline, humanity is unrecognizable compared to our actual history. The wheel's early arrival has multiplied the effects of trade, agriculture, and migration. Populations are larger, settlements are more permanent, and knowledge spreads faster than ever before. But what really matters is momentum, and momentum is now unstoppable. The domestication of animals, paired with wheeled carts, transforms logistics. Tribes can move not just food, but entire structures of culture. Ideas don't die in isolation. They travel. A star map, drawn in one river valley, finds its way into another. A technique for weaving cloth doesn't remain secret. It becomes standard. With the wheel, diffusion of knowledge accelerates centuries, even millennia, ahead of schedule. Within this alternate 5,000-year span, early industrialization doesn't wait until the 18th century. It appears thousands of years earlier. Picture this. Vast networks of paved roads connecting proto-cities across continents. Early smelting techniques, perfected and crude, but functioning mechanical systems powered by wind, water, and animals. Humanity is now entering an industrial phase when, in our reality, the world was still largely the wheel gives empires an even sharper advantage. Armies move faster, supply lines stretch farther, and communication across distances becomes reliable. Kingdoms don't just rise and fall. They expand into mega-empires that would seem impossible in our reality's timeline. Imagine the Roman Empire not in 100 BCE, but in 5000 BCE, already experimenting with advanced machines and large-scale bureaucracy. But with early empires comes early conflict. Wars are more destructive. Technologies of siege and strategy develop faster, and entire regions are gunpowder, in this simulation, appears centuries earlier, and with it comes a new kind of warfare. Global balance shifts as one empire after another experiments with force projection, iron ships, and primitive artillery. Yet, despite destruction, each conflict forces invention, just as real-world wars gave us radar, rockets, and computing. These alternate wars spark innovations in navigation, engineering, and even medicine much earlier. Human suffering exists, but so too does rapid technological growth. In our timeline, the scientific revolution blossomed around the 16th and 17th centuries. But here, curiosity awakens earlier. The wheel didn't just change transport, it inspired the very idea of circular motion, gears, and mechanics. With more time to experiment, humans begin formalizing natural laws thousands of years before Galileo or Newton. Picture scholars of 2000 BCE, formulating theories of motion, optics, or astronomy that in our world took until the Enlightenment. The printing press, instead of appearing in the 1400s CE, exists around 3000 BC, with mass communication established so early. Literacy spreads, knowledge compounds, and cultures are bound together by the written word. By the time this alternate humanity reaches year 10,000, in its timeline, the equivalent of today, society has already lived through not one, but several rounds of industrial revolutions. Steam, electricity, nuclear power, computing. Each of these arrives centuries, sometimes millennia, ahead of schedule. Now comes the most striking divergence. In our real history, humanity reached space in the mid-20th century. But in this alternate history, the wheel's early introduction may have brought us into orbit thousands of years earlier. Why? Because technology builds upon itself. Early mechanics lead to early astronomy. Early astronomy leads to navigation across seas, then skies. Early flight leads to early rocketry, with each step compressed. By the time humanity in this timeline reaches its 20th century equivalent, space exploration is already ancient history. Colonization of the Moon and Mars could have begun not in 1969, but perhaps in what we know as 500 BCE. Imagine ancient philosophers not debating from stone temples, but observing Earthrise from lunar colonies. Imagine myths not only about gods in the sky, but about ancestors who'd walked among the stars. Humanity's relationship with the cosmos is no longer symbolic. It is literal. But a head start comes with dangers. Advancing thousands of years ahead of schedule means encountering challenges before society is ready to handle them. Nuclear weapons, artificial intelligence, and biotechnology could appear before moral, ethical, or political frameworks exist to guide them. Would early humanity destroy itself in a premature arms race? Would a fragile civilization collapse under the weight of technologies it could not yet manage? Perhaps. Alternate history doesn't guarantee utopia. It may even accelerate dystopia. Yet history shows resilience. After every collapse, humans rebuild stronger. If civilizations fall under their own advancements, others rise to carry the torch. In this timeline, even catastrophic wars don't halt progress entirely. They only redirect it. Humanity keeps moving forward, pulled by the momentum of that ancient wheel. So where does this all lead? Let's imagine standing in the present day of this alternate timeline. After 10,000 years of acceleration, what kind of civilization exists? Earth is no longer the singular cradle of humanity. Colonies on Mars, the Moon, and perhaps even other star systems exist. Interstellar travel, which in our reality is still science fiction, could be functional. Vast Dyson-like structures might encircle stars, harvesting energy on scales that dwarf modern imagination. Artificial intelligence, once a tool, may now be an independent civilization, coexisting or competing with biological humans. On Earth itself, scarcity is no longer a defining feature. Energy is limitless, food is abundant, and disease is largely eradicated. The social questions are not about survival, but about purpose. What does it mean to be human, and perhaps humanity transcends biology entirely? The wheel, once a simple circle carved from stone, has set in motion a chain of events that lead to digital consciousness, simulated realities, or the merging of human and machine intelligence. The wheel's original purpose, to move bodies and goods, is almost laughably primitive compared to its ultimate legacy, moving minds across space, time, and even dimensions of existence. And yet, the irony is clear. One small invention, a circle of wood on an axle, could have shifted history so completely. But what truly mattered was not the invention itself, but the compounding of innovation. Each step built on the last. Each discovery opened the door to 10 more. The wheel was not just a tool. It was a symbol of how even the simplest human ideas can ripple across time, reshaping everything. So here we are in the imagined present day of an alternate world, a civilization spanning stars, guided by intelligences both human and artificial, driven by technologies we can scarcely imagine. All because the wheel arrived 10,000 years too soon. It makes you wonder, in our real world, what small invention today could set off the next chain of unimaginable change? Which breakthrough, overlooked or underestimated, might shift our trajectory just as profoundly as the wheel once did? The video ends here, but history, as always, keeps rolling forward.